Call to order.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Call to order this meeting of the Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners. All commissioners are present with the exception of Mr. Engel, who is excused. We did meet in executive session prior to coming out and discuss matters of personnel and real estate. We'll begin with a pledge of allegiance followed by a moment of silence. I would ask that the pledge could be led tonight by Mr. Mack Breach.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job, Mac. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Nailed it. Let's begin with petitions, complaints, suggestions from citizens. Anybody wish to address the board tonight? Hearing none. No, is there anybody online? Betsy that wants to say something? Well, Tony has a complaint. You can go the chain of command. Approval of minutes, January 25th.
Mr.
Commissioners meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. President, I'd like to move for approval of the January 25th, 2024 Board of Commissioners Workshop meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Commissioner Polona. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Down to reports of committees, buildings and grounds, Commissioner Rothrock.
No report, Mr.
Thank you. Budget and finance, Commissioner Sanderson.
President. No report. No report, thank you.
Thank you. Public Works, Commissioner Napper.
Yes, Mr. President.
Sir.
In the month of January, maintenance personnel performed daily checks and repaired the pumping stations. The maintenance staff performed tree removal along Paxton Church Road and several along the Greenbelt. Public Works personnel performed street sweeping in the construction area of Crooked Hill Road. And as a final note, Mr. President, it's now pothole repair season. Coal patch was applied heavy along Mayflower Alley, which is located behind the Susquehanna Township Middle School. This is my report, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Health and Sanitation, Commissioner Rabarchik.
Yes, just to mention that there is no yard waste pickup by Penn Waste in the month of February. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yep, thank you. Admin and Personnel, Commissioner Napper.
Yes, Mr. President. The Admin Personnel Committee met January 30th to discuss the current vacant positions in the township, one being the zoning administrator, which we will discuss later under new business. Interviews are now being conducted for the sewer operation manager and stormwater tech position. And as a final note, Mr. President, the admin personnel is reviewing the police department complement and revising the uniform and ununiform organizational chart. This ends my report, sir.
Thank you. Police, Commissioner Engel's not here. Polona, do you have anything?
No.
Anything, Betsy?
No report.
Fire EMS, Commissioner Hisserow.
Yes, Mr. President. I would like to provide a brief report. We had our 2023 year-end summary, and just a few statistics to report on. The Susquehanna Township Fire responded to 1,949 incidents in 2023. The average response time was 1 minute 13 seconds for progress fire and 3 minutes 1 second for rescue fire company. The average turnout for progress fire was 8 firefighters and 6 firefighters for rescue. Progress fire currently has live-in status is 4 full-time and 4 part-time firefighters, and rescue is 3 full-time firefighters. Susquehanna Township EMS responded to 6,283 emergencies in 2023, an increase of 6.5%, with 70% of the calls within the township. 750 calls were in Harrisburg City, which is an increase of 12%. That's my report.
All right, thank you. Planning and Zoning, Commissioner Rothrock.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. There was a planning commission meeting on the 22nd of January. There was one item on that agenda, and that was Susquehanna Union Green Phase 2E, which is a building addition to the former Panera Bread restaurant, which is being modified for the Primanti Brothers. That plan was approved. Zoning hearing board was held last night. The only item discussed was the 3801 Walnut Street, which is a appeal of a zoning officer's determination regarding parking. And in the alternate, if that zoning officer's determination was not part of the, I'm not quite sure what the alternate exactly means. The applicant was requesting variances to permit the parking configuration as shown in the site plan. In other words, if they couldn't get the thing overturned, they were going to go for a variance. This was the third hearing on this appeal, and the case was continued to the date of March 6th, 2020. That concludes my report.
The beat goes on. All right, School Board, Commissioner Paloma.
No report this time, sir.
Thank you. Authority, Commissioner Napper.
Yes, Mr. President. In the month of January, the Sewer Authority flushed and televised the sanitary sewer system. Staff aided in the snow removal of 3 storm events, as well as removal of the snow from all the pumping stations. Staff continues to update the lateral locations and storm sewer information to the GIS mapping system. And as a final note, Mr. President, the Public Works Committee will meet next month to review future capital projects, which includes tree planting, tree pruning, paving projects, sidewall replacement, and public work storage facilities. This is my report, sir.
Awesome.
If I may, that meeting is February 29th, I believe.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Yes.
It's not actually next month, it's at the end of the, I just wanted to clarify the meetings on the 29th.
It'll be the first time in 40 years that people who vote on the 29th.
It should have been next
actually
month,
have a
except
birthday.
it's a leap year.
This is a leap year. Let's discuss. Let's not. Understood. Shade Tree Commission, Commissioner Cross.
Yes, Mr. President, the Shade Tree Commission met on January the 18th to hold the reorganizational meeting, and officers were elected. The next meeting is scheduled for February the 15th. And that ends my report.
Thank you. Communications, Commissioner Barczyk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to note that everybody's probably received their newsletter by now, and I want to commend staff for doing a great job on putting that together. And I encourage residents to take some time to read through it, because there's a lot of helpful information in there, answer a lot of questions you have about who you should call about this or that. And there's some information on there about parking on lawns, I believe, and information like that. That's one of the questions we've received a lot lately, and it is not permitted to park on your front lawn. So in addition to other ordinances, you can find information on that. And also the website is a good tool. There's a search bar, and if you type in some keywords in the search bar, it is pretty good at bringing up what you'll need. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the newsletter looked good. Thank you, Mr. Canels and staff. Human Relations, Commissioner Cross.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The Human Relations Commission met on January the 17th. They also held their reorganization meeting, and officers were elected. One of the items that was on the agenda and was discussed was that the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission promulgated regulations and expanded protected classes under the Pennsylvania Human Relations Act. And in light of those new regulations, our Susquehanna Township Human Relations Commission will be preparing a presentation for the board to seek guidance on what role they should play. And this presentation will occur sometime after their next meeting in April.
Okay. So they're looking for some guidance?
Yes, from the
Okay.
board, and, what would their role be with this change in protected class?
So there's been a change in state law, which
In
may,
state law.
probably does preempt some of the reason that it was formed here to begin with.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So they just want, whether their role should change, be more in the vein of
Advocacy,
and information, teaching,
right?
and that type.
Okay,
Okay, but they'll prepare something for our consideration.
okay. Maybe we'll put something together for whenever they're ready, about a workshop meeting. Give it some time. Okay.
Yep, that ends my report.
All right, thank you. Parks and Rec, Commissioner Colonna.
On the report this time, Mr. President.
Okay, public hearings, and first we're going to go into a public hearing, which I'll turn over to Solicitor Miller. This is for the transfer application of a liquor license for Primanti Corporation for use at 4351 Garrison Avenue, Susquehanna Township. Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a hearing, a public hearing on the transfer of liquor license number R-16750. The address of the seller of the license is Dewberry Restaurant. This hearing was properly advertised for 2 successive weeks in the newspaper of general circulation. I will make by reference the advertisements part of the record. The Dewberry Restaurant had previously transferred this liquor license by resolution 2002-R-35 to the She Lounge on October 27, 2022. I believe that transfer was never consummated, and so the transfer now is to the Primanti Corporation, which is opening a restaurant at 4351 Garrison Avenue. Now, I'm unfamiliar with that organization. I've not been a consumer the last, say, 2 days. But I've looked at the ethics rules governing lawyers, and I believe that I can fairly opine on this, even though I am conflicted from the stomach perspective. I believe we have a representative from the Primanti Corporation who is trying to curry favor with the board by wearing a hat that I own, which is under his chair, that celebrates Duquesne University. But leaving that aside, would you identify yourself for the record and provide your...
You do everything you can to ingratiate yourself.
I understand.
Well, if you wanted to curry favor, you would have brought sandwiches.
Well,
It's about time.
This, I want to say for the record, this board cannot be bought. It can be leased. It cannot be bought.
He's not just convening a meeting, he's a witness.
I think
Sir, would you identify yourself for the record and provide?
Michael Miller.
Mr. President, Commissioners, my name is Mark Kozar. I'm with the law firm of Flaherty and O'Hara. I always like to plug our firm whenever I get before a group like this, and also because I know my paralegal Andy's watching to keep track of me. Our firm, our sorority practices liquor licensing and liquor law. We do it all over the state, and we do it nationally. The last time I was here, it was quite some time ago. It was for the Giant Food Store liquor license transfer. So I haven't been here for a while, but it's always fun to come to Susquehanna Township. I'm here tonight on behalf of Primanti Corporation. With me is a gentleman who is DM for Primanti's. His name is Mike Corpora. Sitting behind me, we're here to request that you pass a resolution permitting the intermunicipal transfer of a liquor license from outside the township to within and pursuant to revised liquor code, section 47-461B3, for use by Primanti's at 4351 Garrison Avenue. As you know, since 2001, PLCB will approve the transfer of a liquor license from any municipality in Dauphin County to any other municipality in the county, so long as you, the receiving municipality, holds a public hearing and issues a resolution permitting that transfer. In order for you to contemplate or transfer any decision, let me tell you a little bit about the Permane brothers, since your solicitor seemed like he wasn't aware of who they are. Permane's brothers have been a Pittsburgh tradition since 1933, oddly enough, at the end of Prohibition. Either directly or through subsidiaries, Permane's owns and operates 40 restaurants in 5 states. 34 of them are in Pennsylvania. The vast majority are in the western part of the state, fortunately for me, but not so fortunate for my waistline. Pittsburgh's iconic sandwiches come with French fries and coleslaw, fresh Italian bread. Since moving into the suburbs, they've expanded their menu to include wings, pizza, and sandwiches without fries and coleslaw, although I don't know why you would ever order that. Anyway, Permane Brothers are family-friendly, casual dining restaurants in a relaxed atmosphere. Their hours of operation will be Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to midnight, and Fridays and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Great place to go for a late night sandwich, and you'll sleep well. Permane is making a significant investment into the municipality. Typical Permane store employs 75 full and part-time people, so there's employment opportunities here. Alcohol is served as a complement to the French fry and coleslaw smothered sandwiches, and not the main attraction. Alcohol service at all Permane stores makes for a consistent product across all the states and all locations they have. All employees who serve alcohol will receive what's called RAMP training. It stands for Responsible Alcohol Management. It's a program that was put together by the PLCB and the Bureau of Liquor Control Enforcement. It teaches people how to recognize visibly intoxicated people, how to recognize fake IDs. Another thing that Permane's does is they have use ID scanners to verify people's age and verify that the ID is not a fake ID. As I said, Permane's is making a significant investment in Susquehanna Township, and this investment is going to be protected by responsible management and well-trained employees. This is going to be a really good family dining alternative in the township, and I'd ask that you pass a resolution permitting that transfer. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Mr. Kozar, my understanding is that the manager and the staff members will be trained in how to provide alcohol, as you just indicated.
Yeah, it's ramp training, yes.
And there's no intention, just curious, that the Permane's will add games of chance or those mechanical games at this location?
They don't have any of their other locations, so I would suspect not, although there's legislation.
Well, I know about the legislation,
Yeah.
but at this time.
No.
Okay. And I do want to put Mr. Probulka on the record and on the spot. If I understand correctly, Mr. Probulka, that you and the Public Safety Director have spoken and have no concerns or safety concerns about this location. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Members of the board, do you have any questions for Mr. Kozar?
Hey, you guys are welcome to come to my game Sunday at 3 o'clock and 4:30.
I thank the gentleman for his...
Release. So it should be.
Sorry about this.
That's okay.
You mentioned the hours. Can you repeat those?
Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to midnight.
So it's not open Friday and Saturday?
It's open Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay.
Or the bar time. So I heard there's karaoke in the one in Hershey.
It's the only one that has it, to tell you the truth.
I guess I would ask.
So stay with Hershey then, huh?
Yeah.
I haven't been there actually.
Yeah.
The Hershey store is kind of an outlier with respect to what you see at normal Permanis. So that's all I can say about Hershey, that it's kind of a different place.
Any other questions from the members of the board? Anybody from the member of the audience, any questions from the audience? Mr. Kozar, I should say that according to my wife, 17 years that I spent in Pittsburgh helped fund your expansion, money I spent for Manny's, so usually at 2 in the morning. But having said that, I think we'll close the record because we've taken all the testimony necessary. Mr. President, I refer you to section 1A of the agenda, the resolutions on the table if you wish to pass it. That's it.
Okay.
And thank you all for the time. Appreciate it.
No, thank you, and you can pass that outside the hearing?
Yeah.
All right, the hearing's closed. Move on to Resolution 24R08, which would be to approve the transfer of the restaurant liquor license number R16750 in the Susquehanna Township for the purpose of use by Permani Brothers, as outlined by our witness.
Mr. President,
Ladies first.
I move to approve the ordinance,
I'll second
the
it.
resolution, excuse me.
Moved by Commissioner Barcheck, seconded by Commissioner Fitzgerald. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
When do you look at opening?
Right now, we're looking at like the July, August timeframe, somewhere in that range.
Yes, I know, my birthday.
You want to say for the TV when your birthday is?
No.
We'll make sure you get a free sandwich on your birthday. We do that for everybody.
I just have a quick question too. Are you
Yeah.
gonna have any outdoor seating, or is there not room for that?
There's not technically outdoor seating with the way that the plan is for it, but we do put garage doors in.
Oh, nice.
And when the summer weather is, we can pull the garage doors up. We do this in a number of locations. We follow all health guidelines with the health department guidelines with that, but that'll be available. So it'll kind of give that open air feel, but it won't technically be outside.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everyone have a good night.
Okay. Going into another hearing, and this one is regarding establishment of parking guidelines on the east side of Long Alley between Elm Alley and 3745 North 6th Street. Solicitor Miller.
Mr. President, this is the time and place set for a public hearing on an ordinance amendment establishing parking prohibition on the east side of Long Alley between Elm Alley and 3745 North 6th Street. You have in your packet, and it's been provided to you previously, a traffic study from Patrolman Lawver to Public Safety Director Martin. The genesis of this traffic study was for the implementation on no parking due to vehicles, trailers, and equipment parking on the east side of the road in the grass, obstructing Highway Township Department vehicles from maintaining roadways in winter, obstructing fire department apparatus from turning on the Pearl Alley onto Long Avenue. You will see also in your packet that Public Safety Director Martin has concurred with the prohibition of parking on the east side of Long Alley from Elm south to Mr. G's restaurant. I believe that the chief is on, as well as the manager, and I don't know if they have any additional comment on the traffic study. Chief?
None.
The chief is a man of few words. Having said that, Commissioners, the recommendation before staff is before you. Is there any member of the audience who is here to testify or provide evidence? Mr. President, I see none. Do any of the commissioners have any questions of the chief prior to closing the hearing? Mr. President, I suggest we close the hearing with the recommendation of the administration to close the parking on the east side of Long Alley.
Okay. Hearing is adjourned. Moving into bids and contracts, we have ordinances and resolutions. First up is ordinance 2402, which would set general parking restrictions, section 403, parking prohibited at all times at certain locations by prohibiting parking on the east side of Long Alley between Elm Alley and 3745 North 6th Street.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move to approve ordinance 2402.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Barcheck, seconded by Commissioner Pinona. Comments or questions?
Yes, Mr. President, I do
Yes.
have a question. I'm assuming there'll be no parking signs erected. Will there be anything else done to prevent people from parking there? Since it's technically not a roadway, they're parking on the grass. I know like sometimes there'll be like poles put in or something like that to prevent people from actually doing it, because with that being the alley, it's not well traveled. I don't know, the police would really have to drive back there to enforce it.
All right, so as of right now, every 100 feet per ordinance, there will be a sign facing both directions, no matter which way you come down Long Alley, with arrows facing from where it starts to where it ends. I think initially, and the chief can correct me if I'm wrong, we'll get them up, we'll give people a grace period to get their stuff moved, and then the chief will probably send someone down there to do some enforcement. I think once everybody's been notified, give them a little time and some enforcement, will catch on rather quickly.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And thanks for bringing this to our attention.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next up is Resolution 2024-R09. Resolution repealing and replacing a side letter agreement with the Susquehanna Township Police Association to establish a recruitment incentive for newly hired officers. Public Safety Director Martin.
Yes, sir. As we've spoke many times, our department, like every police department, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, Canada to Mexico, is understaffed and having a very difficult time. We're recruiting young men and young ladies that want to be police officers, and this is changing the way that we approach recruitment. It's changing the way that we view a lot of things in terms of trying to get candidates in to take the test and be interested in being a police officer. So at present, as I wrote to all of the board members yesterday, our starting salary is very low. Quite frankly, it's not competitive. I cannot compete. And this bonus is going to at least give me an opportunity and to give our township and our police department an opportunity to compete and bring more candidates in. Because I said, as of today, we are over 10% under complement right now. So this is direly needed. Hope that helps.
Okay. Thanks for that. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Colonna,
I'll second it.
second by Commissioner Isra. Comments, questions?
Comment.
I'll let you do it this one time, but public participation's over.
Okay.
But if you want to come forward, our acoustics are plenty here, so if you didn't hear that, you can briefly address us.
I apologize for the disorder.
No, not at all.
Just was looking for that portion where I could make a comment on this. I noticed in the township booklet that,
Sir, could you just do me a favor, identify yourself?
Yes.
And where you live for the record, so
Yes.
that we have that, please continue.
Certainly. My name is Edward Cross Jr. I live at 3803 Brighton Lane, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 17110, Susquehanna Township.
Thank you, sir.
I had, on the thought of recruitment, I had noticed in the booklet that when I was looking at the pictures of our police officers, there are no minorities whatsoever represented in the township. And I want to know if there is also focus on that particular matter, as well as you're trying to get recruitments to represent the diversity within the township.
Mr. Cross. I think I can pick this up, and I think the Public Safety Director can as well. Public Safety Director Martin has had a long, and I think very significant history of recruiting people of color and from disadvantaged backgrounds to be members here. The department has a number of officers from all different ethnic backgrounds, including Nepali, who we've successfully recruited and retained here because of the Public Safety Director's efforts. And I appreciate, and I know the board does, you coming here and raising that issue, because it's an issue that we always have to be concerned about, because we have to reflect the people we serve. But I do know that the Public Safety Director has made efforts for the last 10 or 15 years to make sure that our recruiting efforts address every possible member of this community. And I know he's worked personally hard to talk to the ministerium, to the school district, and to other entities to try and make sure that our recruiting goes as far as we can. And if you see all of the people in our department, you'll see it reflects that. Director Martin, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I don't know what picture you're looking at, sir. We've got one of the most diverse police departments in Dauphin County. If you go back and view a couple of the meetings in the past 3 months, a number of the officers that were promoted before this Board of Commissioners were members of the minority community. I've worked hard in my 26 years as the chief to diversify this police department. We probably have more female officers per person per capita than any police department in central Pennsylvania. I've worked tirelessly. But having said that, and knowing that we're going to continue to work tirelessly, I want it to be understood that right now, I'm looking for men and women. I don't care size, I don't care if they're men or women, I don't care their color, that want to be police officers. Because right now in our country, there's not a lot coming forward. So it's a very difficult time to, A, promote and recruit diversity, let alone just recruit men and women that want to be in my profession. But I pledge to you that as long as I'm here, I'll continue to do what I've done for the past 26 years, and that's work tirelessly to diversify this police department.
Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Cross, thank you for coming and thank you for raising the issue, because we do have to be sensitive. But I invite you to go to see the chief when you get a chance. He'll happily introduce you to the members of the department.
Thank you very much.
And Chief didn't mention this, but he's also worked tirelessly with the church community.
Yes.
In Dauphin County in particular. We're always looking for partners in terms of outreach. So if you want to reach out to him directly, or any of us, or if you know anybody on the board, maybe, I don't know. Feel free to do so, because really, this is real crunch time. That's why we just approved the bonus, to try to attract more people. So we appreciate your comments and look forward to any input you can help us with.
Certainly. As a community leader, I'll be more than glad to partner anytime and share my voice of influence.
We will take you up on that, sir.
You just made a mistake. So you just volunteered. You were
Yes, I did.
called.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Not at all.
I don't know the protocol. I just thought that, hey, I get to say something.
Well said. It worked out.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, so there's a motion on the board. Who moved and seconded? Jody.
Commissioner Varchek and then Commissioner Hester. No. I mean, that's fine, I'll take it, but.
Oh, sorry, it was Commissioner Faylona
Yeah.
and then Commissioner Hester.
Yeah.
For this one.
Just to be accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I support it.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Staff reports, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Commissioners. My report's in your packet. I'm happy to answer any questions on it or any other matter. Just 2 items to briefly note. We are concluding our evaluation of accounting software solutions to replace our current vendor, and we hope to have a recommendation for a contract engagement sometime in March, likely the workshop, so that we can begin to move forward with implementation. Also attached to my packet is another liquor license transfer. This case is not an intermunicipal transfer, but the municipality is required to receive notice by the applicant, and so that's what this is doing. It is a transfer from one property owner, Your Place, located at 2270 Cone Road, to Plaza Azteca, soon to be located at the same premises, and so it's just a matter of record for your information. Otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions of the manager? All right, thank you. Public Safety Police, Chief, do you have anything else? Like Augie's going mute.
No, sir, nothing.
Okay. Community Economic Development, Betsy, got anything?
You have my report in the packet. I would just note that 72 permits were issued for the township and 184 inspections were performed, and there were 87 violations that were open this month. 46 correct. A lot of those were snow, so we had quite a number. I believe snow melted.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Nate, do you have anything for Public Works?
My report's attached if you have any questions.
All right, thank you. Alex, do you have anything from engineering?
Commissioners, on my report, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Solicitor, anything from the Law Bureau?
I think the Law Bureau exceeded its pitch count a long time ago, so thank you.
In Parks and Rec, do you have anything?
No, my report's attached. If you have any questions.
Thank you. Old business, don't see any here. New business, first up is the consent agenda, which includes 2 items. One is authorization to hire Mac Breach as zoning administrator, and the other is approval of the compensation adjustment, which is located in your packets. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Sanderson, seconded by Commissioner Cologne. Anybody wish to discuss or have questions on either one of those 2 items? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, approval of retainer agreement with HRG for Greenbelt Trail repair. Mr. Kness, please.
Thank you, Board. In your packet, there's a retainer agreement from HRG to do surveying and design work for a portion of the green belt that is currently, or starting to collapse along, right up from State Farm Road. Due to erosion, it's kind of fallen off the hillside. We've been able to, Capital Area Greenbelt Association's been able to patch a little bit at times to keep it safe and so forth, but before it becomes catastrophic and much larger, we feel it's appropriate to take a look at it, get a proper design to repair that.
Okay, so the motion is to enter an agreement, retainer agreement with HRG.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Okay. Yes, sir.
This is a very specific portion of the trail, right?
Yes.
Trail's like 25 miles long, something like that. And I think other portions of the trail either are close to the township or in the township that are also falling apart. I'm just wondering, do you think we'll be seeing more of this coming our way? Is there opportunity to partner with other municipalities on repairs? Just any thoughts and comments you might have.
So yeah, there are various sections that are requiring repair. Some of it we're doing in-house. For instance, there's a section within our easement along coming out of the Harrisburg Cemetery that had rooted and everything like that.
I've tripped over those, yes.
So we're currently working on the repair right now. CAGA is going to give us $3,800 for root barriers that we're purchasing, that we're going to reimburse us for those. And then with a combination of hopefully Public Works and contractor, we are going to repair that entire section. And then Axtane Parkway is getting repairs, and that's being done with a lot of grant work and everything like that as well. So I know CAGA does reach out and does ask for assistance where they need it, but the actual easements that we own as the township, we're ultimately responsible for, not CAGA. So we've addressed it and we've looked at CAGA. And depending on where this comes out, we may look at and talk to CAGA. They can help get us grants as well to do a final repair as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted clarification, I think is touched on. This is just to do the study to figure out how best ways to repair the trail. We would either look at bidding or grants, I guess, to actually do the work, I guess mainly grants.
Well, it would depend on the design and the cost estimate to that repair, ultimately, if we have to go out.
Yeah, I would say if we get a grant, we still need a bid to actually do the work.
Right, if we get a grant, we still may have to go through a bidding process depending on the cost, but once we know the cost estimate, then we can determine how we're going to financially approach it.
Do we have a rough idea how much it costs to repair?
No, we haven't done any cost analysis yet. However, it's a small section.
Yeah.
So the scope would probably generally entail some stabilization of the slope and then removal and replacement of the existing asphalt. I can't guarantee that it would be under the bidding threshold, but I don't foresee a very expensive project.
As I recall, it's not that big an area.
No.
But it is troublesome.
It is. The slope is failing and water is an issue in that location as far as coming across the trail and eroding the slope. So.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, one more question.
Yes, sir.
On State Farm, you mentioned about the roller coaster there,
At the East Cemetery.
right, coming out of the cemetery, and then you go past the old Harrisburg Middle School. There's a lot of,
From the roots?
yes,
Yeah.
that's the area you're speaking of?
Well, that's the area
One
that
of the other
we're
areas.
repairing internally.
Okay,
And CAG is helping us fund that
Okay.
repair.
yep.
This
Okay.
is a separate
Right.
repair.
Right. I'm gonna miss that area.
You like the woods?
No, not really, but it was always nice to see someone new riding, you know, and they didn't know it was there, and you get to watch them, let them go first, you know?
Do we need to install a camera there or no?
And a camera.
Yeah.
All right, no other questions?
Savage.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next up is the retainer agreement with HRD for Boyd Park Electric, design and bidding.
Yes,
Mr. Fresh.
this agreement is separate from the construction that's going to be happening here starting in April. After the first phase was completed, Public Safety Director informed me that they had some issues there because of the amount of darkness that the park has at night, because there's nothing really around it. So he's asked for us to install some sort of lighting or so forth onto the site to help with patrol, help deter people from doing the things they should not be doing in a dark area. So unfortunately, there is no electric on site as it is right now. So we've talked with HRG and have the process of how to bring electric in. They'll work with BP&L to get service scheduled to be brought in on site. And then the design and everything will also get electric to other portions of the site, to the new pavilion areas and areas like that we may need electric in the future as well, beyond just some lighting for the parking lot. Everything, so that's what the proposal and design is for at this point in time.
Is there any anticipation? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Make a motion. Now, we should have discussed before it's on the floor.
Okay.
So you-
You have to make that, Mr. President, to approve the retainer agreement with HRG for the Boyd Park electrical design and bidding project.
I'll second.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Commissioner Rufford. Any comments or questions?
Yeah.
Gary?
Good job with that. That's Peaches Park. If this is just for the parking area and the pavilion is there now?
Yeah, well, that one and then the new pavilion too, we'll get electric out to that as well. So we can utilize it for programming and other aspects.
Okay. I don't think we want to overdo it there simply because the wildlife use that area, and I don't want to, inhibit that.
The lighting I envision is gonna not be the high, like, lighting standards like we have at Veterans Park. They'd be kind of some more low-level type targeted lighting for just that parking area. And we're not looking to light up the.
Yeah, not like the one church down again.
Yeah, we're not looking to light up the world with it, so.
Yeah, good.
So you said you're not looking to light up the path?
No,
Okay.
no, because we still want to keep it closed and so forth.
That's a good
in
point.
all
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, if there's lit, people will go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can work with Public Safety Department as well and determine if we need to keep the lighting on all night long, or do we keep it on to a certain period of time, and we can adjust it according with the timers or so forth.
I know what the HOA would say.
Yeah.
No.
Well, this is pretty far away.
Yeah,
from
they should,
Yeah.
see much of it.
If it's
Yeah.
downlit and,
Yeah.
just for the illuminated parking area and the
Yeah.
pavilions, I don't think it would bother them very much.
Yeah, it should be minimal effect on the HOA.
Yeah, you'd be
Especially-
surprised at what people complain about though. And
Yeah.
rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah.
they're entitled. But, yeah, just look at that church we had last month, months ago.
Oh, God.
And that was a real issue.
We won't be near that height.
And we'll be able to plug in the amplifier.
Yeah.
Rocky will be able to play.
Now, that might bother them.
Those days were so bright, maybe we could just refocus a couple of there'd be enough light from that distance, it would still cover it.
Yeah, I don't know. Any other comments or idiotic questions like mine? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is authorization to submit a grant application to the National Association of Realtors Transforming Neighborhoods Program for the North Sixth Street, Front Street, Small Area Plan Development. That's a tongue twister.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are working on the name of that because we have to provide a project title, so we've been workshopping that one. So maybe getting a little smaller. As you're aware, we were notified of a grant opportunity from the National Association of Realtors that would assist the township with its development of a small area plan for, I would say, the uptown area, because it would include the residential areas between the two main corridors of 6th Street and Front Street. This was part of the recommendations from Sustainable Susquehanna 2030, our comprehensive plan. The Greater Harrisburg Association of Realtors is interested in sponsoring our application to the national program. If successful, a consultant from the Counselors of Real Estate Consulting Corps would be assigned to develop analysis strategies and actionable recommendations to address the challenges to community and economic development in the area. The board would retain oversight of the project, and the township would not have any local match to commit to the program if selected. So we are recommending authorization of submission of the grant application.
I move to approve authorization to submit the grant application.
Second?
Second. Any comments or questions?
Question?
Yes.
What? It's news to me. What kind of grant are we talking about?
$1 million.
So
$1 million.
it's not like a specific number, like we're not asking for 25,000 or anything like that. It's them coming in and doing all the consulting work and preparing a plan. Working with, different steering committee members and members of the community, most likely real estate agencies, commercial agency agencies in the area, and I would assume also like, probably people from the Montrose group.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's a great opportunity because we had budgeted for the plan for this year. So if we can get this, then it's a great opportunity. We are competing against, I think, all of the places in the United States. So we'll see.
Any other comments?
Yes. Just keep me apprised and keep me looked in, please. I'm really excited. Thank you.
Yeah, the comprehensive plan, if I recall, has some pretty good sort of visioning ideas for both of these corridors. Particularly, we looked at 6th Street because it's such a wide street that there's a lot of opportunity for bike lanes and, parking inside the bike lane. Are we going to share that with the realtors as a?
Yeah, definitely. We, and even in our application, we've talked about the goals from Sustainable Susquehanna. We've talked about the draft bike ped greenways plan that is good to be getting close to being approved. And the county plans that would go along with it, as well as CAGA, the Greenbelt potential extension, and the 6th Street area plan that adopted. So, yeah, but we'll use all that information and provide that to them to use as. But I think that's going to be a little bit more focused on like economic development and how we can translate that specific area into something that really takes advantage of the riverfront, takes advantage of the architecture and historical significance of that area. So, and also deals with all the different mix of uses, especially at 6th Street and the traffic.
All right. Anybody else? All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I see we don't have any bills to pay this month. 3 months.
I'll refer to Manager Cabulco now.
That's correct. There is no statement of bills paid in your packet, but there will be one at the March regular meeting that will probably be a larger than usual voucher report to get everybody up to date. But Finance Department was pretty busy these last couple of weeks with the liquid fuels audit and a few other things, so we weren't able to get one for your packet tonight.
All right, thank you. Commissioner comments? Anybody have any? Okay, hearing none.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Commissioner Knapp. I think you do it better than Commissioner Engel.
Louder, too.
Comments or questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?